Kitchell. I work at Falconer Academy and I work in Year 4. Well, my parents used to be foster carers, but before they were foster carers, they used to be teachers. So they had that experience with children in it, and they could only have me as a child. So then they decided, why don't we put this experience of teaching and become foster carers? And then over the years, from like when I was 3 till 2 years ago, they fostered like over 120 children. And having that experience of being an only child with loads of siblings made me realise how important a teacher is and how important they are at ensuring that they get success, because that can sometimes be the constant for that child. They might be moved around the authority with their foster carers, but they might stay in the same school. And so it kind of inspired me to be like, okay, I want to be that teacher that can make a difference and be that constant for that child. And my foster brother, who isn't really a foster brother, he's kind of in between the two, but he was actually the first child in my authority up in Newcastle to get a degree. And you know, he puts that down to having the right support and the right teachers going through his life, so that was why. So I've had a lot of training through the school specifically. Last year I was given talk for writing, talk for reading training, effective maths training. I had the head of maths from DRET, Karen Smith, who was wonderful. She came in and did some training with me where she taught my class, and then I observed her teaching the class, which was really, really valuable for me, because then I could say, okay, this is what a good effective maths lesson looks like with my children, because you can watch people teaching other children and you'd be like, well, my children don't act like that, so this is not helping me in my teaching as much. So that's some really good examples of training. But I mean, every week we have a staff meeting, and more recently, and especially towards the end of last term, we really focused in on like those teaching effective teaching strategies such as Rose and Shine, and you know, the science of learning, so like retrieval practice and space practice, and that constant reminder of how to teach effectively is really good training. And I've recently just finished my induction training which is run by DRET as well, so a lot of opportunities for training on top of my Teach First stuff. So I'm constantly developing as a teacher, and I know I'm in my early years of teaching, but I still feel like I've already made so much progress towards where I want to be eventually, and the school really helps me to make that progression. So the children motivate me the most, and I think that's kind of a good thing. The staff are amazing, but the children really motivate me to come in every day and do my work. Now I live 40 miles from where I work, so it is some days it is a big motivation, right? You need to get up, you need to drive. But the staff as well, there's a lot of collaboration, there's a lot of support, you know, even when somebody has a bit of release time from the classroom and they're doing their stuff for SLT or for their subject, if you have release at the same time, you can quite easily grab them and say, oh, can I just quickly chat to you about this planning or about this? And there's a real collaboration feel, and you know, they're dropping in a lot, especially this year now that things are a bit more normal. You know, there's been a lot more drop-ins from SLT and from subject leaders, and they just come in casually and they have a look and then they'll give you feedback. And so your planning and your progression and your delivery isn't just you, it's a collaboration of all the teachers and all the feedback that they're giving you. And we also have a lot of enrichment. So even through COVID, we managed to have a singing assembly, we managed to do sports day, like when things were closed, we had wellbeing days, and you know, I did like a really cool 5, 6, 7, 8 dance on a video for all the children at home, which was really embarrassing, but really fun, and like there's kind of a fun energy around the school. And this year even more so, we've got so many more enrichment. We're doing the Summer Cup tomorrow, so a big trip to Grantham. We've got loads of things going on. And it's constantly trying to give those children that cultural capital and those experiences that they all deserve, not just being like, you need to read, write, maths. Like, there's so much more to school than that. And I think that's kind of what motivates me and excites me and keeps me here. So about Daventry now, I do work here and I have explored the area, but even as an outsider, I'm obviously not from here, I'm from Newcastle. I live in Leicestershire and then work here. So I had some experience over at the infant school, which is on the same grounds. I got to know more of the Daventry area, more of the children. But I mean, it's a lovely town centre, it's quite big, and you know, there's a lot of different opportunities. You've got dolphins, you've got all these different clubs, there's a lot of, I think Northampton as well as a county has a lot of DRET schools, so there's like this kind of wider sense of community. And I just think that community feeling, you know, you don't feel like you're an outsider, even though I technically am. So I think like that is just one of the best things about Daventry. So what keeps me here is the supportive environment, and not just from the teachers but the PTA, and most, you know, a lot of the parents are really supportive and really engaging and involved in their child's life, and also the actual place that I teach. So Daventry is really supportive and really welcoming, even for somebody who doesn't live here. I still feel very welcomed in the community, and that kind of just makes me want to stay here and keep working. There's a lot of highlights. I've had a lot of support from the SLT and from other teachers. It's a really supportive environment, even when things are a bit stressful, it's still really supportive. The support staff are great as well, and even through the pandemic we were able to band together and be a really good team. As I'm doing my ACT stuff, I've had a lot of extra support from my mentor, and in general it's just a lovely environment. It's a lovely school, it's a lovely area, and so I think the biggest highlight is probably just teaching the children. And coming into my second year teaching, I noticed how much better I am at teaching now, and seeing the difference in the children and how much more progress they're making just really is a good highlight. So I think the biggest challenge that you have, especially as a new teacher, is behaviour, and I had quite a challenging class, but I always had, my mentor would come and observe and go, okay, well that could have been dealt with like this. And the pastoral team who support with getting parents involved and everything have always been really, really supportive. I had quite a few safeguarding where I felt really like, how do I deal with this situation? I don't know how to deal with it. But because all of the staff in the SLT, and not just SLT, are so approachable, that it's like I don't feel like I'm asking a silly question. Especially like, again, as a new teacher, you're like, is this something that I need to mention, or is it not important? You're not going to go there and they're going to go, that's a silly question, because they know that you're just trying to do your job well. So those challenges have actually been really dealt with quite well from SLT and from other staff members. So I'd say join us. It is a fantastic school in a supportive environment. Because we're part of an academy chain, there are certain expectations, but there's so much resource and so much support. Our vision is our children, their future, our responsibility. And that vision really runs through all of the planning, the curriculum and the delivery, and all the enrichment is all about that. Their future isn't just about being able to read and write and do maths and do science. It's about having those experiences and building on those schemas and being able to then go out into the world and go, oh yeah, so I know about this dance because we've actually seen it delivered, and I know about, Romans because we went to Hadrian's Wall, or and having those enrichment. So I definitely think if you get the opportunity, you should.